After a long, hard fight with the spirit of Scar, it seemed the Pride Lands were finally safe. Or so they thought. Little did the Lion Guard know that their biggest threat was just birthed. While confronting Scar, Kion gets bitten by Ushari. Bunga tackles the snake and tells Kion to use the roar to finish Scar. Kion was wounded, the venom stung, but strangely it's not the physical wound that bothered him the most. He found it difficult to think, but one voice shoved through the rest. The voice of his father Simba. Remember who you are. This truth cleared up Kion's mind just enough to realize something. He had a power against Scar that could work to banish him. Forgiveness. He may not be able to forgive all of his trespasses, but he could forgive Scar for what he did to himself and the Pride Lands as a volcanic spirit. The rest would be up to the ancestors of the past to judge. He blows out a soft breath and brings forth the ancestors of the past in the rain clouds, coming to literally rain judgment on Scar. This rain extinguishes the villainous spirit, putting an end to his reign in the Outlands. The guard returned to Pride Rock, but Kion seemed bothered by the Scar. He looked at his reflection in a puddle. Could this truly be the mark of evil? Kion worried that he could become like Scar. Distracted by this, he didn't notice Bunga, who went to check on him. Startled, Kion roars at Bunga, sending him flying. Although Bunga seems unhurt, this only begins to confirm what Kion feared. He's losing control of the roar. Before Scar was vanished, he said, "The roar is a curse." Perhaps this could be true, but Kion's friends reassured him that this was just an honest mishap, and that it doesn't mean anything. Bunga was fine, so they suggested they go to Rafiki. Upon returning, the Lion Guard is met with cheers from the lionesses and inhabitants of the Pride Lands. Simba sees the guard approaching. What was first a wave of relief was suddenly overshadowed by a sudden dread. A dread he hadn't felt since the day he confronted Scar on Pride Rock, when he found out the truth about his father, that his uncle had killed him. Scar, who he thought was only his eccentric uncle, was a cold-blooded murderer. He still dreamt about his father, Mufasa's death, and the claws that caused his literal fall. The dreams had become much more frequent since Scar had been brought back as a fiery spirit, but now that threat was gone. Yet the Scar still haunted him. The Scar, the mark of pure evil, burned into his mind. And here it was again, except this time he was lucid, and the Scar wasn't attached to his murderous uncle, but rather his own son. Usually he was relieved to see Kion alive after a mission, but this time he felt something different. Was it trepidation? All because of an injury? He didn't want to feel this way. What would his pride think? What would Nala think? He didn't dare show his apprehension. He greeted the guard and addressed the obvious, the Scar. Concerned, they go to the only animal that could tell them more, Rafiki. The quirky, yet wise mandrill tells them that the venom is still inside Kion, hence the pain. But he also explains one of the side effects of the venom, the gradual loss of being able to tell the difference between right and wrong. Kion's conscience is being clouded, hence roaring at Bunga, and it seems the decisions will become worse and worse with loss of judgment due to the poison. The only thing that will slow down the process is a plant called Tuliza. Eating it will make him feel better for a time, but soon enough, not even that will make a difference, and Kion's mind will be lost to the venom. But there's a place called the Tree of Life that specializes in healing wounds like Kion's. So with getting there in time being their only hope, Kion and the Lion Guard head out in search of a cure. Simba reassures Kion that he is nothing like Scar and that he will be healed, but deep down, the king feared for his son. He feared what he could become. Simba couldn't cross that path, no matter how inevitable it may seem. Kion could sense his father's uneasiness. He seemed optimistic, but his voice was good at masking his true feelings. He was the king after all. Kion thought everyone seemed hopeful, but what if they were all just putting on a brave face? Yeah, that was it. They all truly saw him for what he was, a monster, the reincarnation of Scar. No, they were his friends. They would be there for him and help him get the healing he needed so he wouldn't become his worst fear and his dad's nightmare. On the way there, Makini, Rafiki's apprentice, made sure Kion had a steady intake of Tuliza, and for a while, he hardly noticed the venom, only a couple twinges here and there. But after a couple days, they started running low on Tuliza, so they had to ration it. Kion got fewer and fewer doses, and on top of that, the twinges were getting stronger, and his mind was getting fuzzier. He couldn't think. The words of Scar echoed in Kion's mind. Sisi Nisawa, we're the same. Sisi Nisawa. Non-stop, Kion heard voices, not just of Scar's, but of his own, only twisted. This new mindset made him irritated towards his friends. Makini was intentionally depriving him of Tuliza. Everybody's moving so slow. They were just getting in his way. He could get to the Tree of Life himself, prove Simba wrong. He thinks of him as Scar already. No, those weren't his thoughts. He had to fight against the venom. Beshte said something. Kion didn't remember what he said or how he said it, but the next thing he remembered was Fuli confronting him. Fuli noticed Kion struggling. She had first heard him grumbling at Makini. Kion told her that as his judgment got worse, she should take role of the leader. Now he was snapping at Beshte. Time to intervene. Kion, you're out of control, Fuli pleaded. Am I? It seems everybody just wants to slow me down, Kion growled back. Fuli tried to explain they weren't trying to slow him down and that they all truly wanted to help him. But Kion didn't seem to be buying it, no matter how true it was. I'm just dragging you all along. Fuli sighed, exhausted with arguing. Kion, your scar hurts, so you're not thinking straight. That's why you were mean to Beshte. I'm not being mean, Kion yelled. You kinda are, Bunga said quietly with a smile, trying to ease the tension with his usual humor, but it had the opposite effect. Kion growled at the honey badger, who stepped back in response. Fuli couldn't allow this to escalate. Kion, maybe this is one of those times where I should take over. Take over? Until you feel better. What? She wanted to take over. So this was it, huh? This is why she came along. She wanted to become the leader. She was always bossy to him, but he used to brush it off. But now it's coming together. She and Makini were working together to ensure Kion lost his ability to think clearly. Well, he could think clearly now. You want to become leader, huh? Kion snarled at Fuli. For a time, yes, that's what would be best for you. Fuli wasn't backing down, but Kion was reaching a boiling point. Oh, I'm thinking clearly. And clearly who I thought was my friend just wants to be rid of me. That's not true at all. We want to help you. And right now, what's best for you is to let me take charge and let you rest. Yeah, Kion, maybe you should let Fuli take charge for a time, piped up Beshte. First Bunga, now Beshte. She had turned Bunga and Beshte against him. She had turned everybody against him. Now she was making sure they wouldn't make it to the Tree of Life. I'm the leader of the Lion Guard, me, and you can't stop me. Kion lunged at Fuli. The fastest of the guard was usually quick to react, but she didn't expect this. He swiped at her face. Blood flew from her cheek. Nobody could believe their eyes. Kion had actually hurt Fuli. He was getting out of control. Bunga couldn't let this happen. He was losing his best friend. Not on his watch. Kion hurt one of his closest friends. No more. Bunga yelled at Kion to snap out of it, that he was better than this. But the crazed look in Kion's eyes latched onto Fuli. He had somehow convinced himself that Fuli was the enemy. Kion pushed Bunga aside and pounced on Fuli, biting and clawing at her. The rest of the guard leaped into action, trying to stop their wounded leader from killing Fuli. Bunga grabbed Kion and tried pulling him off the cheetah. Anga snapped her sharp talons in his matted fur, also trying to pull him away. Beshte wasn't sure what to do. He didn't want to hurt Kion or Fuli. If he tried to intervene, he might turn either one of them into jelly. It was clear that the Lion Guard had one of two choices: kill their beloved poisoned leader, or let him kill Fuli. Pretty soon the choice was going to be made for them. Their longtime friend and leader was not just destroying them, but he was being destroyed himself. Perhaps it's true. The scar is a mark of evil. However, it's only a symbol for the true reason behind the loss of the true Kion. The poison that infected the lion slowly ate away at his soul, his very being, leaving behind what Simba and he himself feared most. A scarred lion who looked after his own needs above others and would do whatever it took to get his way, no matter the cost. Makini just watched in horror as Kion clawed his way into Fuli's flesh, swipe by swipe. It was there, the Lion Guard lost a friend. Although this graphic scene may seem far-fetched, it really isn't. Kion was close to attacking his own guard, his friends. And this highlights the vulnerable nature of Kion's condition while traveling to the Tree of Life. He truly was just one poor decision away from attacking Fuli or the other members. The question I want to ask all of you is, what do you think the outcome here is? Would the guard kill Kion, or would Kion kill Fuli? Shout out to the artists who drew these incredible pieces that were featured. Be sure to check out their other work in the comments. And be sure to subscribe and stay tuned because I have other Lion King and Lion Guard alternate universe stories coming soon. But Hakuna Matata if you're just stopping by. Thanks for watching. If you want shorter stories from the Lion King and Lion Guard, be sure to check out my Tate's Tales channel linked in the description.